Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jen.
And today's Vlogmas, we were beating around the bush on what we wanted to talk about. And something that has came up a little bit more in the past couple weeks. Ellie just decided right now it's time that she should drink water right beside us. Pregnancy update.
Yeah, a lot of people have asked in the comments on YouTube and Facebook if we're pregnant.
Yeah, so quick backstory. Over a year ago, it's probably been a year and a half now, right?
Yeah, it's been
maybe almost 2 years.
Probably.
We had decided that mainly me, because she has been open to expanding our family, but I also joined the group and was really wanting a third child. So we've been actively trying for a really long time, and we got some news. So y'all know Jen's been eating smoked oysters and all that good stuff and really weird random things. We wish we could say that we're pregnant though.
Yeah, we wish we could.
We're not.
Yeah.
So it's a bummer, but it's not a bummer because we haven't put a lot of pressure on the situation. It's been one of those things to where we haven't, been actively like this date, that date, and doing all these things and like making it a overly big deal. Because what we've boiled down to was if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If he wants us to have a third child, we will happily open our arms and take that third child in and love it and be super happy. But if it doesn't feel right or if it doesn't work, it doesn't. And we're okay with that as well. Yeah,
so we did an update probably about 6 months ago. It was before we moved, but we knew we were moving. And we talked about the fact that, we're basically having infertility issues and we don't know why, but that we weren't going to, pressure it or start trying to figure out if there's something wrong or what's going on or any of that for a while. But I think at this point, it's time to start looking into it. I hate going to the doctor, so I have not been to an appointment that I should have gone to since Raylan was born. And I don't like to admit that. I'm not an advocate for that. Everyone should go do their yearly appointments. I just hate going. So I've put it off and I've put it off. But I've actually got an appointment next week to go do that and see maybe if we can talk about it and see what our options are, why it hasn't happened, and figure it out from there. But that's kind of a big step because I swore for so long that I wouldn't do that because I hate going. But yeah, I'm not proud of that.
Even besides the baby part, she needs to go get checked. I mean, it's one of those things that we need to be doing, and I need to be doing a little bit more often from the male side of things as well. So she's going next week. I haven't found a doctor yet, but I mean, there's one out there. I just got to deep dive and find one to get myself checked out as well. It's one of those things like, even whatever the outcome is, it's still fine, but it's like, okay, is there something that is kind of wrong? And I don't even want to say the word wrong. It just is there's something that's blocking or slowing down the potential.
Or are we just totally missing the mark?
Right, is it just the timing hasn't been working out? That's quite all right as well. It's just an answer to maybe nice just to understand 2 years down the road what's going on, because we do have 2 children. At some point everything worked when something happened kind of thing. But we really wanted to give you all an update. A lot of people, the part that we love about you all is that you all truly are invested in our lives. And it's one of those big elephant in the room things that we do like to keep updating you on, but we just haven't had any news. So a little time has passed and we wanted to make sure that we shared it with you all, just to let you know where we're at.
So with my doctor's appointment next week, I will definitely update and we'll talk about what they say, if they provide any suggestions or, whatever they say, we'll update and talk about it.
Yeah, if anything, it will give us next steps on some things that we can do from a professional on figuring out some answers. We also know that a lot of people in the world face infertility. Is that right? That's the right way to say it. I just want to make sure. It's one of those I want to get right. And it's a very hard thing. We've been blessed to have 2 children, and that's why we want to make sure that we express that we are completely satisfied and happy. I mean, we are blessed and grateful to even have 2 children. I mean, there is not a piece of us that are like, oh my gosh, why can't we have a third? We know that we're blessed, and that's what we're trying to say is if it's not in the cards for us, we're okay with that as well. We're just trying to figure out if there is something slowing it down or making it not possible for us to have it naturally.
And I know for some people, you know, every month that devastating news is awful, and
Right.
I'm so sorry. And, you know, we do pray for those situations daily. We know people personally that struggle with that. For us, it's not a devastating situation. We know that there's a plan and there's a purpose. So, you know, while it is sad every month when you realize you're not pregnant, it's not something that devastates us. So don't worry about that, you know.
Right. Pray for the ones that...
Yeah. I mean, mental health wise, like, we're fine.
Yes.
We don't break down or we don't get mad. We don't question why. We're totally okay with either outcome. It's just, you know, every month we find out which way or not.
Right. And, you know, a lot of people have brought up the adoption question. That is definitely not off the table whatsoever.
Especially now.
Right.
I think, because in our old home, that was not an option.
We would have never been approved to go through that with the old house.
Yeah.
It's not that any of you all or us think something was wrong with it, but it would not have.
Yeah.
They
There's
would not
steps
have
and things you have to go through, and that's not something we would have passed with flying colors.
Right.
But you know, now our lives are different, and like he said, it's not something that's off the table. We know there are plenty of babies and children out there that need loving homes, and that might be something that we look into in the future. Definitely not right now, because we just moved here and we've got a lot going on.
Right. And it's just, you know, it's when the time is right. If our heart feels that that's the place that we need to go, we'll definitely go down that path. So we just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that, you know, that's not off the docket. Right now, we're just trying to figure out ourselves.
Right.
Figure out what is happening here, and then see where that leads us from there.
And with all that being said, we don't feel like something's missing.
Right.
We don't feel a void or, you know, a need to, you know, I don't know, try our hearts out, you know, kind of thing. We don't feel that our family's not complete. Our family was complete with just us. Our family was complete with Wyatt, and our family was complete with Raylan. And if it doesn't happen, totally fine with it. The four of us have a really special bond. We would love to welcome another child into that, but if not, it does feel complete. Our family is complete. There's no void.
Right. We don't take granted for what we have. We're happy with what is in front of us at the moment, and it's okay if that's how it is forever.
Right.
So I'm sure someone watching this is going through something very similar to what we're facing at this moment right now. No, keep your head up. There's some times that you do feel a little disappointed every time that pregnancy test comes back not pregnant.
Right.
I mean, what are we on now? 30 something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a
just
lot of tests.
Right now, it's just like you just assume it's going to be negative, and I'm sure a lot of you are facing that as well. Keep your head up. Know there's all kinds of options. Hopefully, if you haven't gone and started doing those tests and stuff, maybe this will help you, because we do want to make sure that we track that progress and share it with you all, just so you can know what maybe your next steps will be as well.
Yes, and if you just flat out know that you cannot have a child or another child, there are plenty of resources that we pray that you get in touch with, and just put your mind at ease. And, you know, it's not something you ever get over. You know, I don't know the void of never having a child, so that's hard for me to speak to. I can't speak to that. But I do know the void of feeling like I wasn't done and then not being able to produce another. It's two very separate feelings. You know, we've been grateful to also not lose or miscarry, and that would be a whole other experience. So just know there's so many avenues and so many ways that this can go, and we hope that this video didn't trigger someone in any way or fashion. We're just speaking our journey and our truth.
Yeah, absolutely. And like she said, there's so many different things that can unfortunately go wrong through this process. There's a lot when it comes to trying to have a child. The biggest thing I think out of any of this video is to know that it's not a punishment. You're not being punished for not having a child. I know sometimes it feels that way, but no, there's always a reason. Know that you're okay, we're all okay, and we're all here to support one another. So just, it's not a punishment. Try in some form or fashion to find that silver lining, contentness with what you have right now, and trying to stop feeling like there's a void is the biggest thing to say. Is because I think that's what we faced when we were really going through kind of a rough time. Is we thought there was a void, and then when I finally kind of like light bulb in my head, the void was gone, and then it was like okay, now we're okay if we don't have a third child, but we know that we're both open to it. So it takes time. Talk to someone, speak to someone, talk it out. Don't hold it inside of you, because that's absolutely the worst thing that you can do. It's always good to get the emotions out and just hear it from another person and talk to someone.
And if you're like me and you just completely avoid going to the doctor to figure out if there might be an issue, don't be like that. Go to the doctor. I can't tell you that it's not scary, because it is. I don't like it, but it's better for you, even if you don't, get to move forward in the process, to get yourself checked and just be, aware and safe and know what your body's doing.
Right. And it's not a situation where she's just saying it. She's like, I'm making the step now, and it's your turn to take the step too, and let's do it together.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, I hope you enjoyed this nice little short Vlogmas Day 10. We enjoy giving you all these updates. We enjoy sharing our story, and we love hearing your all stories. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure to down below.
That's right, and we love you.
Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.